Right now on Good Morning America First Look, a new storm taking aim at the South, the Midwest, and the Northeast, with snow, ice, and treacherous travel after a holiday weekend marred by travel delays and highway pileups. We time out the new storm.
Young children among the dead after a mass shooting at a birthday party in California. The new clue about who might be responsible.
Was it a war crime? The bipartisan demand for answers about the order given by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to target suspected drug boats in the Caribbean. The survivors of the initial attack also reportedly targeted.
Michael Jordan taking on NASCAR, the NBA legend's lawsuit that could reshape the world of auto racing.
A masterpiece thought lost to the ages is found in a private home. How much it's worth.
And attention shoppers, the best deals for Cyber Monday today. And as holiday shopping ramps up, the growing problem that a penny shortage is causing in stores.
A Sunday night football thriller coming down to the wire.
And the role a Mickey Mouse t-shirt played in a casino cheating scheme.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm Hannah Batam.
And I'm Sophie Flay. We begin with a major storm expected to wreak havoc as we begin a new work week.
Yeah, we already saw plenty of travel chaos as people tried to make their way home from Thanksgiving destinations, but there's a new blast of winter-like conditions on the way. As the Midwest digs out from a major winter storm, more snow is on the way today, with the South bracing for freezing rain. Those systems are then expected to combine, bringing dangerous weather to the East Coast.
Those two lows then converge and create really messy conditions starting first thing Tuesday. It's mainly a rain event from D.C. south, but the I-95 corridor will see a rain-snow mix, and the interior Northeast, that's where we could see a really productive snowfall event.
Up to a foot of snow could fall across Pennsylvania and up to Maine. Over the weekend, snow and ice making for treacherous post-Thanksgiving travel. Ground stops issued at airports in Chicago after the city saw its snowiest November day on record, more than 8 inches Saturday. At Midway Airport, a private plane sliding off the runway after landing. And in Des Moines, a similar scene, this Delta jet skidding as it turned to taxi. Thousands of flights were either canceled or delayed nationwide.
Our flight was supposed to leave at 2:20 and it just kept getting delayed until eventually it was like midnight.
Traveling by car, not much easier. 45 vehicles were involved in this chain reaction crash on Interstate 70 in Indiana. And a scary moment for those trying to enjoy the storm. 14 people left dangling on a chairlift at the ski resort in Wisconsin for 40 minutes because of a power outage. We'll check your full forecast in just a few moments.
Family and friends are mourning the loss of 3 children and an adult fatally shot at a birthday party in Stockton, California. The youngest victims were just 8 and 9 years old. Investigators say the attack was apparently targeted, starting inside a banquet hall and moving outside. Now they're asking for the public's help tracking down whomever is responsible.
We will find these animals that did this and bring them to justice. We all know that there are people out there that are violent and commit violent crimes. But these animals walked in and shot children at a children's birthday party. And none of us should stand for that.
The mayor is blaming gang violence.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is facing new scrutiny. A report claims he ordered U.S. forces to kill everyone on board a suspected drug boat, which could be a war crime. Lawmakers in both the House and Senate are now launching investigations into that strike in the Caribbean. ABC's Perry Russom has the details. Perry, good morning.
Hannah, good morning. A new report says U.S. forces killed survivors of that airstrike on an alleged drug boat, allegedly to comply with orders from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, seeing the survivors clinging to the wreckage before launching that second deadly strike. This morning, bipartisan fallout over the Trump administration's escalating military campaign in the Caribbean. The Washington Post reports after U.S. forces carried out a strike in September on a suspected drug boat that left 2 survivors struggling in the water, a second strike was carried out to kill them. This was allegedly done to comply with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's initial orders to kill all passengers on the boat. Now lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say Hegseth may have violated international law.
This rises to the level of a war crime if it's true.
When people want to surrender, you don't kill them, and they have to pose an imminent threat. It's hard to believe that 2 people on a raft trying to survive would pose an imminent threat.
Hegseth defending his orders, saying the intent is to stop lethal drugs, destroy narco boats, and kill the narco terrorists who are poisoning the American people. Biden coddled terrorists, we kill them. President Trump responding to the report.
I'm going to find out about it, but Pete said he did not order the death of those two men.
Some experts argue even if Hegseth did not order that second strike, it may still be a violation of the laws of war. It comes as President Trump escalates his threats against Venezuela, warning all airlines, pilots, drug dealers, and human traffickers, please consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety. Venezuela calling that warning a colonialist threat to its sovereignty. Trump was asked whether his airspace comment means strikes against Venezuela are imminent.
Don't read anything into it.
Trump revealing he has spoken to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, but not sharing details. Trump last night also speaking about a freeze on all asylum decisions in the U.S. after last week's shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C., allegedly by an Afghan national.
How long does your administration plan to pause asylum into the U.S.?
I think a long time.
Can you give any
We
kind
don't
of
want
time?
them. We don't want those people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
The Trump administration granted the suspect asylum in April. He was allowed into the U.S. during the Biden administration and previously worked with the CIA. Sources say he was recently mourning the loss of a mentor while also dealing with financial stress, unable to work because of an expired work permit. The Associated Press reporting his mental health had deteriorated. Police not yet revealing a possible motive. A vigil was held for Sarah Beckstrom, the 20-year-old National Guard member who died on Thanksgiving, a day after the shooting. The other guardsman who was shot, Andrew Wolf, remains hospitalized. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the suspect could have been radicalized here in the U.S. He was also injured in the shooting and is still in the hospital. He is facing first-degree murder and other charges. Hannah.
Perry, thank you. Well, both U.S. and Ukrainian negotiators say the latest round of peace talks were productive, except for one major demand from Russia. A source says the Russians will not agree to a ceasefire in any form if Ukraine is unwilling to concede territory. Russia continues to bombard Ukraine with attacks. ABC's Ian Pannell explains what's next.
This is a critical week for Ukraine. On Tuesday, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff takes his deal to Vladimir Putin. And I think only then will we know if the Russian president's willing to make not just demands, but concessions too. And few here in Ukraine have high hopes that a breakthrough to end this nearly 4-year conflict is imminent.
And now, according to the Financial Times, NATO is considering a more aggressive response to Russian operations.
A legal battle is kicking off today that pits NBA Hall of Famer Michael Jordan versus NASCAR. It's an antitrust lawsuit that could reshape racing as we know it.
Let's go!
This morning, a lawsuit that could reshape the world of auto racing. NBA legend Michael Jordan is taking NASCAR to federal court, claiming it's a monopoly.
If I have to fight this to the end for the betterment of the sport, I will do that.
Jordan co-owns a NASCAR team with driver Denny Hamlin. Last year, 13 of the 15 NASCAR teams signed a new deal with the racing company that determines revenue payouts. Jordan's team was one of 2 refusing to sign on and accuses NASCAR of restricting team revenues and independence. NASCAR insists it's done nothing anti-competitive in building the sport from the ground up since 1948. And it says the new deal has boosted payouts to teams.
Even though they try to point out that, we made, some money or we had a successful business, that's not the point. The point is that the sport itself needs to continually change for the better, for the fans as well as for the teams, as well as for NASCAR too, if they understand that.
Court documents claim only 3 teams said they made money last year. And on average, owners reportedly lost more than $2 million per car. Analysts say no matter how this lawsuit plays out, it could bring seismic change to the sport, with 2 teams likely to leave NASCAR should they lose their case. Or if they win, NASCAR could be forced to rethink how it does business.
Most other teams say the deal is working and don't want to see it torn apart.
Time now for your Monday weather.
Good Monday morning. We're tracking our next winter storm, starting with 2 pieces of energy here. One moving across parts of Kansas and Missouri with snowfall, rainfall moving from Texas into parts of Louisiana, even some icy mix there, some freezing rain in parts of Arkansas. This will all kind of congeal into one more significant storm later on tonight into early tomorrow morning, spreading snow into the Ohio Valley. And eventually The Northeast, big cities probably stay as mainly a chilly rain, maybe starting as a few wet snowflakes at the onset, but could be significant accumulation north and west of the I-95 corridor. Meteorologist Jeff Smith, ABC News.
Coming up, the home improvement star arrested once again.
But first, a crucial day in court for accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione, what his lawyers are requesting.
And what someone just paid for a long-lost masterpiece. We're back with images of a huge fireball that exploded at a waste facility in Sydney, Australia. A large chemical tank blasted into the air, sending fist-sized chunks of concrete raining down. The cause is under investigation.
Now to a crucial court hearing for accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione. His lawyers are trying to prevent key evidence from being presented. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack.
This morning, Luigi Mangione heads back to court for a hearing that could decide what evidence will be allowed in his trial and what evidence may be suppressed.
This hearing could be like a mini trial, getting a preview of what is likely going to be argued not only in a state court, but potentially in a federal court where Luigi Mangione faces the death penalty.
27-year-old Mangione has pleaded not guilty to murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on this New York City street nearly a year ago. His attorneys want a judge to throw out a laundry list of evidence, including statements he made to police after his arrest at this McDonald's in Pennsylvania. His attorneys claim Mangione was not read his Miranda rights until 17 minutes after police started questioning him. His lawyers also claim the search of a backpack seized during his arrest was illegal, conducted without a warrant. Inside the bag, officials say they found a 3D printed gun and silencer, electronics, and a red notebook in which prosecutors allege Mangione wrote what amounted to a confession. They say one entry read, "I finally feel confident about what I will do. The target is insurance. It checks every box."
If the defense wins just one argument, for example, the contents of his bag was illegally searched, then you don't get a diary, you don't get a 3D printed gun, you don't get any of the identification or things that connected Luigi Mangione to the chase. If you can't present that to a jury, what kind of case do you have then?
The defense also asking a judge to limit how some of the evidence will even be discussed, including whether the notebook can be called a manifesto. Mangione's attorneys already winning one request. A judge is allowing him to wear civilian clothes in court.
Depending on the number of witnesses, this pretrial evidence suppression hearing could last up to 7 days. Sophie, Hannah?
Allison, thank you. Actor Zachary Ty Bryan has been arrested for the 6th time in 5 years. He was taken into custody for violating probation in a domestic violence case. Bryan is best known for his role on Home Improvement for all 8 seasons.
A long-lost painting by Peter Paul Rubens has sold for $2.7 million. The depiction of the crucifixion was hidden for 400 years. It was recently found in a private home in Paris. It was authenticated during a paint analysis.
Coming up, the shortage of pennies causing problems as holiday shopping ramps up.
Also ahead, the big shakeup in college football. What a star coach is saying after switching teams.
Maybe all the national people understand why he should let me coach, but he has to live here, and it's a little different when you're the AD. So totally respect that. And Keith has been amazing to us over the 6 years.
That's college football coach Lane Kiffin talking about the athletic director of Ole Miss. Kiffin saying he wanted to finish the season with Ole Miss before heading to LSU, but he says he was not allowed to.
Today is another big shopping day. It's Cyber Monday, but for some doing their shopping in person, there's been an unexpected snafu, a shortage of pennies.
If Black Friday was any indication, Cyber Monday today could be a blockbuster for retailers. U.S. consumers spent an estimated $11.8 billion online Friday alone. That's a 9.1% increase from last year.
Woo! Happy Black Friday! Woo!
Lines may have been long at stores, but the number of people shopping in person continues to dwindle. Foot traffic dropping nearly 4% from last year. One problem for retailers, a new kind of penny pinching.
Production for a single penny has tripled while the demand has plummeted.
The final penny was minted just 3 weeks ago. And Axios reports the national supply is collapsing far faster than expected. Many stores without exact change are rounding down, eating the cost to avoid disputes with customers. Some businesses are asking customers to bring in pennies in exchange for gift cards, saying the pennies phase out was abrupt and came with no guidance from the government. Now, the focus turns online to Cyber Monday.
There have been some pretty sizable discounts on things like televisions and laptops.
Experts suggest the best deals are likely to be on laptops, beauty products, and clothing.
Also, just kind of everyday staples. If you need a new charger, if you want to upgrade the power delivery system inside of your car to wireless charging, there are a lot of options available for folks.
And there's a new player in the dash for discounts. More than half of shoppers are expected to use artificial intelligence. Retailers from Target and Walmart to Amazon are teaming up with AI chatbots to help shoppers find the perfect gift at the perfect price.
And shoppers are expected to spend $14 billion online today. That's 6% more than last year.
Coming up, the role a Mickey Mouse t-shirt played in a casino cheating scheme.
Plus, a Sunday Night Football thriller. Time to check the pulse, and we begin with an overtime thriller between the Broncos and the Commanders.
And we've got to start with what could be the potential catch of the year. The Commanders' Treylon Burks using one hand to grab this touchdown pass. Yeah, look at that in the third quarter. The game went down to the wire.
The Commanders kicking a field goal to force overtime. Later, they tried to win the game on a two-point conversion, but the pass was blocked, giving the Broncos a 27-26 win.
The game marked the return of linebacker Alex Singleton 3 weeks after surgery for testicular cancer. He was overjoyed to be back.
I just love these guys. I love this league. The guys on the other team's coming over, giving me support after this. There's nothing else you could ever want in this world, but this team, it's special. I'm just happy to be a part of it. I love these guys. And
wait, and you really laid it on the line. We have to see this. What happened here?
I lost a knee pad.
It was just 23 days between Singleton's surgery and his return.
Here's another catch of the year candidate. Rams star Puka Nacua also using one hand and getting help from the defender. But the Rams still lost to the Panthers. Next, a couple is accused of using a hidden camera and earpieces to defraud a casino of nearly $800,000.
Yes, staffers at the casino in Australia say they noticed the wife wearing this small camera on her Mickey Mouse t-shirt. Police also found other devices, including a cell phone mirror attachment to rig the games. And you won't need to visit a casino if you win the Powerball tonight.
Yeah, the jackpot has reached an estimated $740 million, $346 million if you take the lump sum, about $218 million after taxes. And finally, an invasion of elk.
A giant herd of elk crowding into these backyards, taking up every inch of space in that neighborhood in Loveland, Colorado.
Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, lawmakers say U.S. airstrikes against suspected drug smuggling boats may be a war crime. A new report claims Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a verbal order to leave no survivors. A source confirmed subsequent strikes did kill survivors.
President Trump is facing criticism after announcing a pardon for the former president of Honduras, serving time in the U.S. for drug trafficking. Meantime, early results in the Honduras presidential election show the Trump-backed candidate leading.
More than 900 people have now died in extreme flooding in Southeast Asia. From Indonesia to Thailand and Sri Lanka, hundreds are still missing.
And today's weather, snow from the plains to the Midwest, ice and rain in the south, those systems combining in the northeast tomorrow.
And finally, Tofu the cat getting in trouble again.
Oh, Tofu. Here's Danny New.
The culprit and the crime.
So my boyfriend normally works from home, but he didn't that day. He goes to the office in Oklahoma City.
Brianna Terry of Oklahoma discovered this image on her security camera when she arrived at work a few weeks ago.
I had just gotten to work, drove 20 minutes there, and then immediately had to drive back.
It turned out her cat, Tofu, had become a little too domesticated and could now turn on the kitchen faucet with only 3 paws required. However, you'll notice Tofu does not grab a quick drink or anything. He just immediately leaves once his work is finished.
Cats.
Yeah.
They just love to do things that drive you crazy.
Yeah. That's him.
In the few weeks since, this video has exploded with millions of views on social media. One commenter on X saying it's time for him to start chipping in for the bills. If he can learn how to turn the sink on, he can learn to hustle. Of course, Tofu is actually a little sweetie and has come a long way since Bree adopted him last year when he was found as a stray. In this case, Bree feels Tofu is just quite food motivated, and this is his latest way of saying, hey, give me a treat. And since Tofu has not stopped turning on the faucet, Bree now has to leave its spigot permanently wrapped in this headband. So far, Bree says this method has been effective.
Hi, Tofu.
What are you doing?
Trying to find a sink to turn on.
Probably.
And guys, Brianna has said that her other cat has not yet copied the behavior, but I did immediately text my wife to see if my cat Pepper would try turning on the faucet. But no, she just wanted to smell it. Per usual. But hey, more importantly, welcome to our new anchor, Hannah Battah.
Welcome, Hannah.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you, by the way, Danny, for doing some scientific research for all of us with your cat.
Thank you. Yes, just wanted to do what's most important, journalism.
And we're so happy you're here, Hannah.
It's good to be. Hey, what a way to start the Monday. I mean, come on.